the space shuttle of the international mission Churchill sent to Halley's Comet, moving in its direction with the task of studying the object. Inside the comet, the crew discovers a hidden spacecraft that is about 150 miles long. It has an organic structure that resembles a huge alien creature. The crew enters the ship and finds many desiccated bodies that resemble giant bats. These bodies hang in cocoons along the interior passageways of the ship. Moving further inside the ship, the crew discovers 3 humanoid bodies in transparent sarcophagi, 2 male and 1 female. All 3 are anatomically identical to humans, completely naked and in a state resembling anabiosis. The crew decides to take the bodies aboard the shuttle for further study. One of the bodies, an alien creature in the form of a bat, is also retrieved. After this, Churchill begins the return journey to Earth. During the return, the control center on Earth loses contact with the ship. All attempts to re-establish contact are unsuccessful. After some time, a rescue mission is sent into orbit to investigate Churchill's fate. When the rescue crew enters the shuttle, inside they find that almost the entire ship has burned out from the inside, traces of fire everywhere. The entire crew is dead. The escape pod is missing. However, 3 sarcophagi containing alien humanoid bodies remain intact, unharmed by the destruction. They are being taken to the European Space Research Centre, located in London, for study. During preliminary procedures, one of the bodies, a female figure, suddenly comes to life. The creature climbs out of the sarcophagus, approaches one of the guards, and absorbs its life force through physical contact. The guard's body then drains and shrivels, and the alien woman leaves the building. The remaining 2 body male figures also awaken. They show aggression and attempt to escape. As they attempt to escape, one of the guards uses grenades, causing both bodies to be destroyed. It is assumed that the creatures are destroyed. Meanwhile, the body of the first guard, emaciated by a female alien, comes back to life 2 hours after his death. He gets up and in turn draws the life force from the other man. So it becomes clear that the infected are able to pass the parasitic energy on, turning others into the same creatures. The suspicion arises that vampirism is transmitted along the chain. Later, Churchill's escape capsule is discovered in space. Inside is Colonel Tom Carlson, the mission commander. He is returned to Earth, and he reveals that after the bodies were brought aboard, he felt an overwhelming urge to open the sarcophagus of a female alien. She then began to absorb the life force of the crew. Everyone else on board was exhausted. Carlson set the ship on fire to prevent the threat from spreading further and escaped in a capsule. After interrogation under hypnosis, it is revealed that Carlson is psychically linked to the female vampire. He senses her presence and is able to receive images from her. He and British Special Forces Colonel Colin Kane begin a search for the creature. With a tip-off, they arrive at a mental hospital in Yorkshire, where they suspect the creature has taken the form of the head of the institution, Dr. Armstrong. Presumably, the alien has used his body as a shell. Meanwhile, it turns out that the 2 male vampires were not destroyed. They have changed guises and relocated into the bodies of the soldiers who killed their former shells. Now they are spreading the contagion throughout London. Everyone who comes into contact with them becomes the same creature, transmitting energy up the chain. This causes a massive epidemic. The city gradually fills with aggressive, emaciated people who have lost their life force. Martial law is declared. London is sealed off. The infection spreads at breakneck speed. It turns out that the life forces drawn from the victims are channeled through male vampires to a female vampire, who in turn transmits them to an orbiting alien spaceship. The alien spaceship, meanwhile, enters geosynchronous orbit over London. Streams of energy travel across the sky in the form of bright beams pointing upwards, which becomes visible to the naked eye. Dr. Falleda, a scientist working at the research center, studies the nature of the creatures. He determines that they can be killed with a special weapon, an ancient spear made of an alloy of lead and iron. He kills one of the male vampires with this weapon. He also suggests that the creatures have visited Earth before, accompanying Halley's Comet, and became the basis for vampire myths in human culture. Before his death, Falleda hands the weapon over to Colonel Kane. Carlson, using his mental link, tracks the location of a female vampire who has taken refuge in St. Paul's Cathedral in London. He enters the building and finds her lying on the altar. She is receiving energy coming from the infected. Streams of light pass through her and out into the sky, toward the ship in orbit. Carlson realizes that he and she are now connected. He has given up some of his life force and become part of hers. Meanwhile, Kane fights the last male vampire in the cathedral dungeons. He kills him with a spear. He then tosses the weapon to Carlson, who approaches the female vampire and impales them both at the same time. At the moment of penetration, an energy discharge lifts them into the sky through the cathedral's open dome. They ascend up a pillar of light connecting Earth and the orbiting ship. The moment the ship breaks away from the geosynchronous orbit and begins to return to Halley's Comet, Kane, watching from the ground, sees Carlson and the female vampire disappear into space with him.